Yeah, so it looks like Hellman said like 25 minutes ago. Sounds like you can probably expect to see the same game plan for game 3. McCarthy says he plans to work his starters a lot at practice. If it all goes well, they won't play against Seattle.
Yeah, that makes sense. I think this week you'll see mostly these reserves, people at the bottom of the roster, everybody that's on the bubble, they're gonna have to go ahead and make a statement this week. So you want to see a lot of starters this week. It makes sense though.
I kind of like it too.
Like if you wanted to see a starter this week, like who would you expect? You know what I mean? Who would you expect to be out there? You know what I mean? I think for the most part, everybody that we kind of wanted to get a glimpse of, we've seen. I would say except for the receivers, but I mean the defensive liners look great. As far as starters, Jabril Cox, he came in last week. He showed us what he needed to. I don't need to really see no more of him. Keep him healthy. At this point, let's go ahead and roll to week 1, man. And we got who we got. It's just some of these guys at the bottom of the roster. They're gonna go ahead and have to make a statement and see if they got a place here or not. So, yeah,
no, I definitely like the idea of resting the guys during the preseason. I don't care to see where Dak's at against.
No, I mean if you think about Dak last year, he had the shoulder injury.
Yeah.
Everybody was all up in the air. People, you know what I mean, going a little bit crazy, doing a little too much, and then he came out and he balled out. So, I mean, we don't need to see Dak. Obviously, we haven't seen Zeke in preseason in years. I look at it like this, like, when the last time you seen a Brady or Aaron Rodgers or any of these guys in preseason? So we got to start to look at Dak in the same aspect of those guys. I mean, we know what it is about, so.
Especially, too, like, it makes me nervous to put starters out there because for a lot of these guys that are about to get cut next week, this is the highlight of their lives. Like, this is the biggest thing they'll ever accomplish. So they're out there really trying to make a name for themselves. So I don't like the idea of putting like a Dak Prescott or even like a Rodgers.
You know what's crazy about this, bro? Like, after 1 week, 1 game, Turpin, sit down.
Oh yeah.
I don't need to see no more of you. Go ahead, rest up, boy, and chill out and get ready for the Bucks, man. We don't need to see no more of you. Show the people what you got. Go ahead and sit down, man. Yeah, like I think, but it's some people out there that I do want to see again. Like for real, Kelvin Joseph and Deshaun Wright, y'all gonna be out there again. You know?
Oh yeah.
I gotta. These guys gotta compete. The DBs.
Oh yeah.
The defensive linemen. I don't really think the defensive line. I think we're gonna go ahead and keep everybody at this point. Ridgeway, like I just got this strange feeling that he's gonna end up on. I ain't gonna say the practice squad, but maybe injuries. It's something that's gonna go on. You know what I mean? But I think we'll keep most of these guys. If anything, I do want to see some more of Tyler Smith. You comfortable with that? Seeing Tyler Smith back out there time this week? Yeah.
That's what I want to see. I want to shore up who's a potential starter. I want those battles to take place. But if you're already locked to start week 1, like I don't need to see you out there. So I need to see what's his name, McGovern. I need to see Tyler Smith. Let's run that one more time. Joseph, Deshaun Wright, Izzy, like y'all need to come out there. The French guys, the French starters.
So we talking French guys. Like let's talk about how about Farniak? He came out, you know what I mean, was physical. He looked good, but we didn't get to see a lot of Biadasz against the same, same level of starters that was out there. So do you think this week we get a more clear look of, let's say, hey, get Biadasz snaps here, or you think Biadasz is just a lock to start week 1 and he's kind of good to sit?
No, I think there's a strong chance actually that Biadasz gets set. Bro is out there. How do you say his name again?
Farniak.
Farniak was out there. It's killing the game, bro. So
yeah.
If he can play that physical next to who we think is a physical Tyler Smith, and we can identify as a run first team, let's do it.
Boy, like he was out there hitting some people, man, and it kind of leads me right into just talking about some of these guys that we always talk about. Let's say upvotes and guys that we want to say trending overs just kind of got to stock up. Going into this next game and as far as the preseason goes, right? So of course, I just want to start off with Tyler Smith, right? Man, this guy was hitting guys, mauling guys, putting his hands on people and moving them down the field. This is exactly what we want to see, what we want to expect. I'm feeling good, man, right away. This little things he need to work on right here and there, you know what I mean, as far as the little, things, details he needs to do as far as just letting go at the right time when it comes to flags and things of that nature. But, man, like, right away, man, he's putting his hands on guys, he's moving them down the field, man. I'm very excited so far.
I think, too, with Tyler Smith, he's coming off as undisciplined, but as a rookie, like you're still trying to develop that balance, use that strength and balance together. Whereas in college, he was just a men amongst boys for the most part.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So now he's up against men all the time. So once he gets his feet underneath him, I think like that should get cleaned up.
And then you got to think about it. You got freaking Josh Ball on the other side of him. So I think once you get a Tyron Smith out there, I mean, a lot of these like blocks you'll see where he's just balling the guy in front of him, and then you got somebody shooting off the edge, right? But in general, man, like I remember it was like 6 to 8 plays, one of our scoring drives where we was just running the ball behind Tyler, back to back to back to back, back. You know what I mean? And Malik Davis, he was eating. Rico, he was eating. It seemed like we had the perfect game script, which I think kind of follows the blueprint of what we want to do this year when it kind of everything just falls down to it as far as this run game, man. Like, we're going to force that. And this is a physical guy, man. So if you put him right there, you got Tyron Smith beside him, Zach Martin, Terrence Steele in a run game. He's a mauler. You feel what I'm saying? The only guy that just doesn't fit right there is a Tyler Bias. We'll have to see how he develops. But, man, I think in general, he kind of embodies what we want to do this year. And I think we'll see a different identity start week 1. You know what I mean? Right away. So
absolutely. Speaking of upvotes, I know you mentioned like we don't need to see anything out of Turpin this week, and I agree completely. That's another upvote.
Right upon, bro. Yeah.
That's another upvote. He caught the upvote on the first return, so 2 was just icing on the cake.
Let's talk about it, man. It's been a little bit of time to pass, man. Give me your thoughts on that Turpin, man. Sheesh. Man, it's exciting just to see that in Dallas. We ain't had a returner since it's been forever. I can't even think of, you know what I mean?
Harris?
Dwayne Harris?
Is that who I'm thinking? Or Lucky? Lucky was nice.
I mean, Lucky Whitehead, he got his yards, but I mean, who was like taking him to the house? I would say Dwayne Harris, but I don't think Dwayne Harris had the twitch and had the. It's a different feel, right?
He was more like Josh Cribbs moving back there.
Yeah.
Remember Josh Cribbs out in Cleveland?
Yeah. But I don't want to put it out there, but Turpin got that. He got a little Hester to him, bro. You know what I mean? It's a different gear.
That honestly, and it's crazy because we always talk about like having a poor special teams, and last year we started getting blocks. Like that was cool, but if we can get a return man back there and like start winning special teams, that's one of the 3 parts of the game. Like if we can master special teams, our defense is good. If our offense has fallen off, we may be all right.
So think about it, right? So to just kind of project a little bit forward, right? We was able to make that leap with Dan Quinn this year. You know what I mean? I fully expect us to have a top 10, top 5 defense this year, right? If you got a top 5 defense, you got a Pro Bowl punter returning. Anger, he's good at what he does. He's pinning these guys deep. You know what I mean? You have a Turpin back there who's going to threaten these guys. Yeah, you might not want to kick it too deep. It's going to make the punter think twice. All we need to do is kind of play a little ball control, and we might be a different team where all we got to do is score when we get the opportunities. Top 5 defense, pinning these guys deep, playing this. You know what I mean? This as far as the yards go, as far as the the field position, man. I think we'll be right where we want to be, man. It's going to be a different game this year.
It does make a huge. It does make a huge difference too if you're no longer starting drives on the 25. You're on like the 33, the 32, the 26. Like that all adds up. You know what I mean? So if we can have that. But then I do remember I think I sent you a thing yesterday. Turpin said, let me see if I can find it real quick. No cap, if the NFL give me a chance, I'll be leading the league in punt and kick return touchdowns. Man, and that was in January before he was even in the league. So cool. My man spoke it into existence, and that's exciting.
Hey, I'm glad it was us, right?
Right.
But I think I don't want to just get too far ahead of myself, but I think I'm comfortable with saying right away, just saying what we saw. I already feel like he's one of the top returners in this league already.
Yeah, and I don't think that's an overreaction.
I don't think that's overreaction at all. I think, you know what I mean, just kind of based off of that game and what we've seen right away, he's been doing it for a long time. It's just like he's finally gotten his opportunity. You know what I mean? He was doing it in the SFL. He was the MVP over there. He was doing that at TCU. He had a little off the field problems here and there. He didn't get his opportunity. maybe some teams shot away from him from like as far as the size and some things going on off the field. But man, like, hey, like we're gonna take you in Dallas, and I'm just ready to enjoy the ride at this point.
You know what that reminds me of? AB. It's funny because we dropped the AB episode last week, but AB made his name on special teams before he was a starter. And I'm not saying that's the situation here, but you shine where you can shine. You know what I mean? Like you got that Slater dude over in New England who's on like his third contract as a gunner. That's crazy.
We got a good one over here, so we know what that like.
No.
We know what that's like. Yeah.
And I think we signed him to 3 years, so we got it locked up as long as he can stay healthy. That's terrific.
3 years? Sheesh.
I think so. And
we got him for cheap. Damn, I'm gonna have to double check that. Okay.
I'll pull that up right now while we talk through it. But the other crazy part is that we probably won't have to see CD and Diggs back there playing special teams anymore because you know how bad that bothered me. Ooh, like, or Tony. Tony's a beast back there.
Okay. So not to get too far off subject, right? So does that mean it's a direct correlation between, let's say, if Turpin is getting all the touches here, does that mean Pollard get more touches in the actual game script? You know what I mean? When it comes to actually get touches as a receiver and running the ball, and you know what I mean? I'm glad not to see Pollard back there. He's too valuable to have him back there. I wouldn't mind putting him back there with Turpin every once in a while, you know what I mean, just to put the fear in these guys. But I think that's a very great point that, you know what I mean, he should be getting more touches, you know what I mean, as a running back, and, you know what I mean, spelling Zeke a little bit there, man. So,
okay, I've got
that's good for everybody.
I've got the contract details here. So we signed him to a 3-year, $2.56 million deal. So we've got him under $1 million for 3 years.
Let me just say this, though. So if you know Dallas, we've been a team that kind of just go ahead and we as far as the bench and the other free agency, we sign guys to 1-year contracts. Maybe 2 if we like you. Very rarely do we go ahead and put the fillers on a guy and give him a 3-year deal. So I think right away they seen something they liked in him, and they knew they was going to keep him around. So that says a lot right there. Yeah.
That and he was. I wonder if like he was known around the league, and Dallas was just trying to sweeten the deal because I wonder if he had like multiple offers.
As we talking about upvotes here, I just want to focus on the defensive side of the ball here, right? We had a Israel Mukuamu who came out and. You know what I mean? Like, when I say jumping off the screen, he was jumping off the screen, man. So he was getting sideline to sideline and making plays. He was at safety. He was at nickel cornerback. He was in the box. He was doing a little bit of everything, man. So I know last week we was all excited about De'Ron Bland, and we'll get to De'Ron Bland here in a minute. But just go ahead and get your thoughts on Israel Mukuamu, man.
Is he? So I know Trayvon was revealed on that top 100 list the other day, and we were talking about that earlier. And it's crazy because we were talking about how I don't care how many yards Trayvon gives up because yards don't equal. I mean, they do eventually equal touchdowns, but he's not giving up TDs. He gives up big plays that sometimes lead to TDs, but 11 picks is crazy. And I've been saying for a while, like, I don't care about that. I feel like it's Dallas's fault for not providing a center field safety to have his back to accommodate his play style. So now if Izzy can be that guy and Trayvon can thrive, I need that, bro. I need that bad.
Yeah. Not to get too far ahead, but if we talking about that, I just want to just put that out there. Like, I think Malik Hooker could be that guy.
Sure.
And even Javon Curse has been doing it a little bit, you know what I mean, a little bit of everything. So he's kind of that Swiss Army knife. So when I think about Israel Mukuamu and talking about Javon Curse, I feel like he's a mini Curse, man. If you think about Curse, like he's coming and he's making tackles. He's in the box. He's back there. He's guarding tight ends. He's in the slot. He's playing a nickel. He's doing a little mini linebacker, doing a little bit of everything. I think the biggest improvement we've seen from Mukuamu, especially this game, was just coming in and being physical, right? Last year, we didn't see him being as physical, making the tackles. And then this year, man, he was moving sideline to sideline, man. And, you know, I mean, the interception, that was good. He was able to read eyes a quarterback, go ahead and track it down. Kelvin Joseph, it looked like he was going to let up a big pass. He came in and made the big hit, was able to launch the ball loose there, man. And that's what you want to see from a center field safety. So I think right then and there, that puts the pressure on a lot of guys, because when you have a guy like that who is playing multiple positions, playing versatile, you know how Dan Quinn likes his guys, and he fits right in. So
100%.
For sure.
I would say too. The next few names we talk about will just be upvotes, by the way. So Tristan Hill looks phenomenal. He had the strip sack and recovery, so it's nice to see him shining now. What is this, year 3 for him? And as we said before, that was a guy who we were like, he's on the fringe of getting cut.
At the minute of where you are right now, Tristan Hill definitely look good, man. Coming in, pushing the pocket, getting his strip sack. He even was able to beat up on a Zion Johnson. We wanted a Zion Johnson in Dallas. I remember me and you right before draft, and everything popped off. That's what we was kind of hoping for, right? You know what I mean? We was like, let's get Zion, right. Man. Tristan Hill was able to whoop up on him a little bit, right? So I think right away, and you talk about a Ridgeway, we just thought that Tristan Hill would be this guy that we was able to push off the ledge. But man, to his benefit and all credit to him, man. He's came out, had a great camp, and also was able to tie everything together. And he's shown up in these preseason games. So definitely an upvote for Tristan Hill, man. He's balling.
And then I do want to point out too that I have Jake Ferguson on here a second week in a row on an upvote because he just seems to be like your typical Dallas Cowboy tight end, like what is it, a safety blanket? Yeah, my bad. Okay. He just seems to be one of those safety blanket guys, like your typical Dallas tight end, which is why I always say, like, I don't get why we tag Schultz. Like, any tight end will thrive in our system, in my opinion. So I feel like, why not get a guy that can block better than Schultz in there? Like, we'll create opportunities for our tight ends. We always do. And it's just crazy because every offensive coordinator just seems to love tight ends in Dallas.
I think it's ironic that you see a Ferguson come out and have the game that he have, right? And then all ironically, Jeremy Sprinkle, hey, the Achilles hurting, right? Go ahead and sit down, go on injured reserve for a little bit, you know what I mean, and save us a roster spot right here, right? So we're talking about a Jake Ferguson. I'm not mad at Dalton Schultz, only because of letting go of Amari Cooper, right? Outside of Amari Cooper, you know, CD gonna do his thing, but Schultz was kind of that safety blanket for Dak, reliable. So going into this season, I understand why you want to keep a guy like that around. Now, if we're talking about after this year, now Jake Ferguson, like you say, he's looking exactly like what Dallas likes out of their tight ends, man. I think the main thing I like about him, man, is the couple plays I've seen, they throwing it to him, he catching it, but then he's getting straight upfield.
Right.
It isn't so much of making the first guy miss, but he's just breaking the tackle and getting upfield, getting off and soft, man, and that's what I like to see. Jake Ferguson, yeah, man, it's looking good, man. I know on the last episode, you talked about Jeremy Sprinkle might be the number 2 guy strictly because he was more of the blocker. So I think that shows a lot as far as what the coaching staff feels about a Jake Ferguson at this point.
True, absolutely. That's what, yeah, and it's just crazy because we just always seem to have the same generic, slow, quick burst tight end. You know what I mean?
Know, like, Whitney had no burst, man. We was playing him. It was like year 13, man. He was going about 2 miles per hour, man. So, you know,
he'd have 80 catches for 3 yards.
Hey, look, we took it.
Yak was 0.
Yeah.
But
shout out to Ferguson, though, man. Great game.
Yeah, that seems like a promising thing. Do you want to hit a couple downvotes? So,
or before we hit the downvotes, we can just kind of roll through a quick couple guys. Sam Williams, hell of a game. Pushing the pocket, pressuring the quarterback. He hasn't got home yet, but, you know what I mean, he's showing that burst off the edge and exactly what we want to see. And if I just want to say any other guy I want to get an honorable mention to right now, and I feel like we've already talked about Basham. He's continued to jump off the page, but Chauncey Golston, man, in year 2, man, he's looking big in there. He's looking solid. Yeah, man. So I was able to see him on film, and he looks good as well. Now, if you want to go into the downvote guys, I kind of already know where you're hitting here. So who's kind of just sticking out to you right now, man? That might be on a bubble at the moment.
Right now, Kelvin Joseph and Nashawn Wright more than Joseph. I just feel like Joseph is guaranteed to make the roster with the high draft capital, but I do see a situation where Nashawn Wright does get cut. There's not as much draft capital in him as a Kelvin Joseph. I wouldn't be surprised if Bland can keep doing his thing. We're probably going to keep some serious depth at safety. We got Donovan Wilson, Malik Hooker, Marquise Bell, another name we forgot to mention in the upvotes.
Well, Now that I think about it, you know what I mean? Calvin Joseph, he was a second round pick, right? But it's so easy to forget that Nashawn Wright, he was a third round pick, right? So it's not that big of a gap if you really think about it, you know what I mean?
That's
So
fair.
I think more than anything, Calvin Joseph has the highest ceiling, right? Nashawn has been the one that we thought would show up more. He's been having the greater camps. He had a better camp than Joseph this year. He had a better camp than Joseph last year. But we always talk about, hey, when the lights come on, man, he just doesn't show up. And it's strange to me, man. You got a 6'4" guy. He has all the athleticism in the world. He's the perfect prototype for what Dan Quinn likes. You know, Dan Quinn, all the way from his Seattle days, he liked these long corners. Guys is tall that, you know what I mean? It kind of gives you that advantage from a size standpoint. But for some reason, bro, I don't understand. This guy act like he got cement in his cleats, bro. Like, the ball is in the air. It's like, bro, jump. Just, bro, you so damn tall, bro. Just get the feet off the ground. That's all you got to do. He just like having a problem with tracking the ball, man. And I think one thing we could say about Calvin Joseph, at least when it comes to special teams, he has been a gunner. He has been able to get down there and make plays. And, you know, Bone Fossil, he loves that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I think we can afford to give Kelvin Joseph a little bit more time. The thing is, I would like to afford to give Nashawn Wright a little bit more time. It's just that if we was to cut him, I just felt like somebody would poach him, right? So he's not going to clear waivers, and I don't think it makes sense to keep him over Deron Bland at this point, or Israel McQuamu, guys who have shown that they can play the position at a higher level at this point.
Tolbert, I got Tolbert neutral this week. Just another week of getting open, doing his thing. But I did knock him for like his end zone awareness. You got to know where your feet are at when you're in the back of the end zone.
I agree. And that's something that'll come with time. He's gonna have to definitely go to work on the throw sway, drag, get that down or whatnot. But I think a lot of that goes into the quarterback play as well. It was a couple plays, like even in the end zone there. You know what I mean? If Cooper Rush had hit him just a little bit earlier, you know what I mean, he would have, you know what I mean, had that touchdown. And then it's, you know what I mean, it was certain plays where he's getting open where I feel like Dak will find him, right?
Sure.
And I think I'm comfortable with him, even though he hasn't had the stats to back up what we expect from our third round pick. I think once the Dak get out there, you'll see a lot more, you know what I mean, progression from him. And I think we'll feel a lot more comfortable for sure.
And I feel like, too, I'll have to go back and really look at the tape, but he's probably out there catching double teams. He's probably the best receiver out there. So
yeah,
he's probably catching the number one attention. Yeah. That's why I marked him as neutral. Doing his thing, just need to watch where you put those feet.
Cooper Rush is still trash.
Oh, yeah. Coop. I'm telling you, bro, if Dallas takes Cooper Rush over Will Grier, I'm going to be tight because
that's not happening. No.
They're just riding high on, but you know they're so loyal to the quarterback position. But they're just riding so high on that Halloween game last year. I'm telling you, when he snapped against Minnesota.
I would like for them at least switch it up, man. And this week, I think he deserved it. Where let's give Grier the snaps in the first half. You know what I mean, the first couple of series, and let's reverse it. Let's give, you know what I mean. Let's go ahead and give Grier some snaps with Tolbert and those guys, and then on the back end, let's see what Cooper Rush does with those guys because. One thing I can say about Grier versus Cooper Rush is he's a lot more aggressive as far as, you know what I mean, attacking downfield, looking to make plays and things of that nature. Cooper Rush, he just kind of looked like, you know what I mean, he's a little stagnant back there. He's a little hesitant. And I think he looked decent this week, but I think the main thing that made him look decent was just a good game plan from Kellen Moore finally, just enforcing the right game. Running the ball, and I think naturally that'll make your quarterback look better. And I think that was a lot, you know what I mean, that was going on from the last week.
Just in general, watching the two of them, Will Grier just throws a prettier ball than Cooper Rush does. Like the way, like the trajectory, it's, I don't know. Cooper Rush just throws an ugly ball.
I agree. Man, I think a major thing that I wanted to see going into last week was enforcing the run game. And we talked about physicality, what type of identity we wanted to see, and like we just spoke about, making a quarterback position look a little bit better, right? And that goes to pretty much show you what that can do for your quarterback, and especially Dak. When we talk about losing weapons, losing Amari Cooper, how would that look, and what we can do to kind of sustain things until Michael Gallup comes back. I think it was dope seeing Kellen Moore follow the game script. And that's kind of what we're all waiting to see as far as his progression goes, man. And then leading into that, man, this Rico Dowdle with Malik Davis situation, man, it's kind of here and there, man. A little seesaw between who you like. I see some people like Rico. I see some people like Malik. I like both. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It's crazy, man. I like Rico. He looks good, but then there's something about Malik Davis, man. He got something to him, a little pop, man. It's physical, man. So, how do you think this running back position gonna play out, man? It's tough. It's tough, really, man. I like to keep both.
Let's keep Davis. Let's keep Dowdle. Dowdle, I think, was with us last year as well. He might just have like a little bit of a bump being on the roster for so long or longer. Let's run a running back by committee. And if we had to like sacrifice a body on the back end of the roster, I'm so cool with that being Nashawn Wright. Like if you had to choose between keeping both running backs or both corners, who are you picking? One's got to go. Wright, Joseph, Dowdle, Davis.
It's tough, man. You know, it's crazy because as much as I want to give up on a Nashawn Wright, and I will. Don't get this wrong, I will. I feel like he has the talent, but it's like, do we have the time to sit here and wait for his development, right? Mm-hmm. But I also, the same thing I said about, you know what I mean, Nashawn Wright, as far as Rico and Malik Davis, if you cut one of these guys, they're going on the roster right away. They getting poached, right? Right. I would prefer to keep a Malik Davis and see if maybe we can let a Rico slide and maybe get him back on the practice squad. That would be my bet. But I know for sure that Nashawn Wright will be going. I'm comfortable with Nashawn Wright going. I think, like I said, Israel and all these other guys have stepped up. I'm comfortable with that, especially with Deron Bland stepping up. So if I have to answer your question, I will go longer at running back. I would.
I agree. Okay. Yeah. And especially you can always go scoop a corner from free agency. There's always a guy. But there's also running backs too, so I don't know. I guess that goes both ways. I don't know. I like both backs.
Hey.
I think.
Hey, that's something we're going to have to see this week, man. So, Rico, Malik, we're going to call this, go ahead, part three. Let's see who steps up and put a statement on this week coming up for Seattle.
The trilogy bout.
I like Malik, though, for sure.
I'm leaning Malik if we had to choose. I agree with that.
You seen that truck stick, bro? I'm like... Remind me of a little Zeke back in the day, man. So that's something you can't teach, man. A guy that just falls forward, right?
Right.
I like to see a guy that just pick up the extra yardage. You know what I mean? Rico is good. He's elusive. He's getting his, you know what I mean, his yards. I respect all that. But, you know what I mean, when the game gets gritty and the identity that we want to play as far as smaller guys, I think he fits what we want to do. Definitely moving into this 2022 season.
And before we go ahead and get out of here, a couple of things we did want to highlight for you guys. A couple upcoming things. We're going to have a live redraft league on here.
We got the live fantasy drafts, man. Man, y'all just wait till the season start, man. It's gonna be epic, man. You know how the off season go, man. Things a little slow right now, and you know what I mean. We've been we starting out, we getting fresh. It's a fresh new channel, man. But man, it's gonna be epic over here, man. So just make sure y'all stay tuned for sure.
And definitely be prepared for a lot more content. Like I said, we're going to be doing a live draft here in about a week or so. We intend to come on and do a hot takes episode. Let you guys know some bold predictions going into the season that we have. A couple of bets we're going to be placing. Season-long bets, week one bets. We're going to hit on quite a bit. But thank you all for tuning in. This is the Schilling N Stunna podcast. You got any final words?
Yeah, man. Like we always say, man, we appreciate each and every one of y'all for just tuning in, man. All of the subscribers, everybody that's coming in. And then y'all don't know how important it is to just hit that like button and even commenting and subscribing and things of that nature, man. We want to engage with y'all, man. Everything is pushing this algorithm. We want to reach more people, man. And we want to get y'all some good content, man. So long as y'all rocking with us, we rocking with y'all, man. And like we always say, we'll be back, man. So like I always say, man, we definitely appreciate y'all. And just stay tuned, man. Hit that notification bell. And, hey, we'll be here. Appreciate y'all, man. Peace.